You're listening to Qwerpline here on QWRP-FM. Qwerpline this week is brought to you by Simon & Simon's Ryman Hyman. Ensure the freshness of your unadulterated beats. It's Simon & Simon's Ryman Hyman. Keep your Ryman sharp as a diamond.
Good morning, Nsburg, and welcome to Qwerpline. Big G Money here with A-Train. How's it going, Alex?
Feeling like a sweet treat that can't be beat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Always happens this time of year. I'll be over it in a week.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good to hear. I hope that the day is going better for everybody else out there here in beautiful Nsburg. Please don't go.
Oh, yeah. I remember when they stopped using that one because it just sounded too needy.
It was a dark time for the tourism board, or at least whoever was writing the slogans that week. Let's go to the news. This weekend, head down to the beach at Lake Indian Name.
Right. Could you hand me a Post-it note?
For the Pykrete carving contest. This year's theme is celebrity likenesses, so if you've ever wanted to see Sir Ben Kingsley's face chiseled out of an 80-20 mixture of ice and sawdust, this is the day trip for you.
Pack a lunch and dress warm, kids.
And if you're looking for more family fun this weekend, they've de-iced the Schloop tubes to get them ready for the annual Polar Bear Sploosh. The general public can come down on Saturday to have a frosty dunk, then get pictures taken with Polar Bear Sploosh mascot Crinkles the Emergency Space Blanket. As a reminder, the Schloop tubes will be closed on Sunday for a private function.
Oh yeah, this is the weekend all the new recruits are getting jumped into the Berg Scouts.
Yeah. Ever wonder why this event is held the same weekend the paramedics are on strike?
I thought about that when I got jumped in, but then I got so cold I blacked out. Pack a lunch and stay warm, kids.
But the big news, of course, is that it's Nsburg Strike Week. So to get the lowdown on everything that's not happening, let's go over to Studio B for business reporter Michael O'Leary, who has a representative from the Nsburg OmniUnion. Take it away, Michael.
Thank you, Graham. I am pleased to be here today with the Nsburg OmniUnion representative, Trina Snutt. How are you doing today, Trina?
Michael, I'm doing great. After this, I'm going to have a long nap.
That's good to hear, Trina. I bet you deserve it. You work hard all year on the union's strike.
Yep. For those of your listeners who don't appreciate the work that the Nsburg OmniUnion does, we represent the interests of all Nsburg employees, whether you work down at Wienerzar or at the recycling center. We've got your back, and every year we negotiate for you to take an unpaid week off.
All except us at the radio station.
Yeah, that is a constant source of confusion and public inquiry to the OmniUnion, but the Thurpston County Council of 1986 did decree that QWRP was an essential service because somebody was really into the call-in show at the time.
I remember that, Trina. I also grew up listening to DJ Zap's Radio Flea Market.
Oh, and on that topic, I just want to remind your listeners that the Nsburg Flea Market is, of course, also closed this week, and you'll have to find somewhere else to buy reproduction Edwardian chairs.
That's not what I use my Edwardian chairs for, but to each their own. Now, Trina, the Nsburg Strike Week is a long-standing Nsburg tradition. Tell us some of the concessions you won from the town council. Did we get anything new this year?
Yep, Michael, we worked really hard, and the fee for dropping off a raccoon, live or dead, at the recycling depot has been raised from $60 to $65.
I bet Kendra's doing cartwheels.
I mean, personally, I think most of the people are just going to eat the $5 and write it off as the cost of doing business, but, you know, it's the optics that count.
But these negotiations are a game of give and take. What did we have to give up?
Well, Michael, I'm sorry to report that after some pretty intense negotiations, we did have to declare all smoke breaks are now vape breaks.
I don't even vape.
Yeah, most of our members don't, but I am led to believe there's some good vape trick videos that you could watch on YouTube. And I think that'll really bring the union membership together.
And no one brought up a possible conflict of interest with Carl on the town council owning the vape store downtown?
No, actually, it wasn't his idea. False Dmitri down at the Wienerzar was really keen on this, and just nobody wanted to hear her argue anymore.
Oh, the hubris of youth. I love their passion.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of passion, the marital aid stores, of course, closed this weekend. But they have been given special dispensation for emergency deliveries. If you need to call the 1-800 number, you probably already know it.
That's 1-866 Mr. Limpy.
Speaking of disappointment, I just want to remind listeners that all the public transit shut down, so...
Does that include the water taxi?
Technically, although I don't know anybody who takes it. The pipesmen were saying that cut-in service could stimulate demand. So...
Well, it sounds like an everyday strike week. Not much going on in Nsburg.
Yeah, that's the nut of it. A lot of tired people taking a break this week, and been working for 51 weeks to get this done. And now I'm going to use my 1 week off a year to play some CeeLo in the alley behind the town hall. So if you want to get schooled in dice, you know where to find me.
Thank you, Michael. And now, speaking of people not doing their job for a week,
Or, ever.
we go now to Richter Hammock Slam with the QWRP traffic report. How's it going up there in the Qwerpline, Richter?
Graham, the sea spreads out before me like a mirror in every direction.
The sea? As in the ocean?
That's correct, Graham. I'm assuming it's the Atlantic, but that's only thanks to my keen sense of direction.
Holy shit, Richter.
I'm going to be super upset with you shortly, but Richter, do you have enough fuel to return to land?
I can only assume so, Alex, but such answers and actions are outside of my control at this time.
Richter, are you in the Qwerpline?
No!
Okay, good. Being real mad at you now.
Richter, where the hell are you?
Graham, I am currently inside what can only be described as a Chinese passenger drone.
You mean an aeroplane?
Airplanes have pilots, Graham, and while I am a pilot, I am currently not in control of this autonomous vehicle.
Okay, now I'm just curious. Richter, how the hell did this happen?
Well, Graham, this morning, before getting into the QWRP traffic Qwerpline down at the Nsburg Aerodrome, I noticed a much more interesting vehicle parked next to it, so decided to give it a try. It turns out that it's part of a revolutionary new ride-sharing service that's on its way to its new home in Dubai.
Via the Atlantic?
You stole a drone.
It stole me.
I asked you about fuel. Are you at all concerned that your additional weight might affect the flight time?
Are you calling me fat?
No, we're calling you stupid.
Actually, if I could just cut in here, you're over the ocean, presumably the Atlantic. How are we communicating with you?
Funny you should ask that, Graham. My new friend Avdul over at the UAE Air Force is patching this call through for us.
Why?
Something about a dying man's last wish. I only hope the best for the widow of Avdul and his children.
Richter, I don't know that Avdul was talking about... You know what, don't worry about it. Hey, Alex, is Nsburg Search on strike?
Maybe? But even if it isn't, Dan can't be to go to Dubai.
Well, Richter, it's been an honor to serve with you every day. Richter, I can't lie to you in a time like this. It's been a chore.
The feeling is mutual, Graham. I, too, have found it to be an obligation.
So... bye?
Oh, rest assured, Graham, I will be back after strike week. I'm going to enjoy a nice vacation on the beaches of Dubai. I'll send you a postcard of me surrounded by their notable, beautiful swimsuit models. Back to you.
Wish I was dumb enough to get a vacation.
So do I, but for those of us stuck with being tourists in our own hometown, we have on the phone with us Rosemary Saltsmith, curator of the Nsburg History Museum. Hello, Rosemary.
Hello.
I understand you have some new exhibits coming up in the rotation.
Oh, yes. We have a wonderful double-header exhibit coming up. First, a collection of antique clay sewer pipes excavated from Paul Hinckley's backyard.
Yeah, that rototiller sure did dig up a gold mine.
And flooded half the cellars on the block.
Oh, Bertha's going to be so mad.
Or drowned.
Not to worry. We're doing conservation work on several cellars. We've found a great collection of 1950s girly magazines.
Is that really appropriate for the museum?
We'll bring people in any way we can. And nothing turns the styles like a 1954 edition of Chubb.
The double fold-out one?
You'd better believe it.
What are your hours?
And what else do you have on exhibit right now?
The other half of the exhibit is a collection of racist costumes from the 1860s Nsburg Historical Reenactment Society.
Yeah, it seems like every year at the town hall someone brings up that we should pay more attention to our history.
And it's the mission of the Nsburg History Museum to see that we do, with crystal clear accuracy and 20/20 hindsight.
Yeah, the 1860s Reenactment Society sure had some
Racists.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you come to the museum, you can see many of their costumes, except for the one we had to cover in gray cloth. That one's too racist to look at. There is a plaque that I will not read over the radio, but it is very detailed.
So is this an exhibit you could bring the whole family to?
No, I'd rather they see the titty mags.
Yeah, so would I. About those hours?
11 to 1, weekdays except Tuesdays and Fridays.
Hand me another Post-it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Rosemary. And hopefully you at home will make the visit to the Nsburg History Museum. After which, maybe you want to sample some of Nsburg's newest cuisine. And to learn more about that, we've sent QWRP summer intern Derek down to the grand opening of Formosa Palace.
That's right, Graham. It's me, Derek. How you guys been?
Better.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even know you were sick. But if you're feeling better, you should come down to Formosa Palace. This place is amazing. They're having their grand opening today, and I got a special invitation from the manager. I love going on these guys. I get all the free food I can eat, and you pay for it.
I remind you again, that's not the deal, but what's the atmosphere like down at Formosa Palace?
It's really interesting in here, actually, Graham. For a place called Formosa Palace, it's a really loose interpretation of what it was like during the Qing Dynasty. I find that kind of confusing because most of the plants here aren't even native to Taiwan.
How's the food?
It hasn't arrived yet, Graham, but the manager did tell me he'd be bringing out an assortment of all of his gourmet dishes.
Terrific.
For me to eat on the radio.
No.
But how am I supposed to tell the listeners if the food's any good if you won't let me eat it?
Just eat away from the mic.
No, his name's Jonathan Stote. Oh, and here he is.
Call me Jim.
Oh, that's not an accurate diminutive. Normally I would call you John or Johnny.
My middle name's James. Anyway, here is the Shogun sampler.
The Shogun were traditional Japanese generals.
And they ate well. Plus, it's alliterative, and people like that.
What do you call this dish?
Well, everything here at Formosa Palace is a fusion. Take this teriyaki macaroni. It's the familiar macaroni noodles that we all grew up with this exotic teriyaki sauce. Or perhaps you'd like this sweet and sour steak. It's prepared medium rare, just like these Ming vases.
I've never seen anything like it before.
We also have potato paneer with gravy.
Wait, that's just poutine.
And for dessert, sweet congee.
What?
It's just rice pudding. Don't tell no one.
We are live.
Well, these are really interesting, Jim. Do you have any more traditional Chinese fare? Like silver needle chow fan?
No.
What about Buddha jumping wall?
That sounds dangerous.
Not even rice roll long donut?
You made that up.
No, rice roll long donut's the only thing in life. What was that?
Oh, someone must have ordered General Lee's chicken.
What's General Lee's chicken?
It's steak fried chicken and plum sauce, served in a hollowed-out model of a Dodge Charger.
That doesn't sound very good at all.
It wasn't a very good car, no.
Jim, I'm sorry, but I don't think any of this is appealing to my tastes as a sinophile. Do you have any Mugu Gai Pan? Or Feng Joie?
Well, that's a no on the Gai Pan. But I did have Lee in here to actually turn the tables and make sure all the energy's flowing right.
That's Feng Shui! You're a fraud, Jim! Graham, he's a fraud!
I'm learning an awful lot about Derek.
And where I'm not having dinner tonight.
You know what, Jim? I've had it with this restaurant. I'm taking that macaroni to go. Back to you, Graham.
Don't forget to scratch off your lottery ticket and the fortune cookie.
Ew. Thank you, Derek. Well, that takes us up to the break, and now Alex and I need to figure out what we're doing for dinner. So when we come back, the Girl Scouts have set up blockades at the edges of town to stop scabs from entering during strike week.
Ooh, the tourism board isn't going to like this.
The tourism board is, however, handing out welding goggles if you want to view the upcoming artificial eclipse.
The what?
Local inventor Darren von Spront is flying his black hot air balloon in front of the sun. You'll only be able to see it correctly from the town square, but von Spront says it'll be breathtaking.
No kidding. Have you ever been downwind when he's burping the balloon?
Mercifully, no. Stick around, folks. More Qwerpline after this.
You're listening to Qwerpline here on QWRP-FM. Thanks again to our sponsor, Simon & Simon's Ryman Hyman. Ensure the freshness of your unadulterated beats. It's Simon & Simon's Ryman Hyman. The OGs will never accuse you of crymin'.